Welcome to the Simplified Organization Show, where real moms chat about real life, managing all there is to do, and prioritizing our people while we do it. We want to banish overwhelm, fulfill our responsibilities, and stay cheerful while we do it, because it is a good work that God has called us to do. I'm your host, Mystie Winkler, second generation homeschooling mom of 5. I write and podcast at simplyconvivial.com and am the author of The Convivial Homeschool, Gospel Encouragement for Keeping Your Sanity While Living and Learning Alongside Your Kids. Today we have part 2 of my conversation with DeeDee and Ximena, also known as the Chips and Salsa ladies. They are 2 homeschool moms trying to figure out how to savor life through every messy moment. And like chips and salsa, they try to keep life tasty and festive. They believe in the power of community, and they love encouraging homeschool parents through their YouTube channel, social media, and the Bookshark podcast, Homeschool Your Way. Combined, they share 20 years of homeschooling experience. They love learning alongside their children and all the fun field trips and memorable moments that they've been able to spend together. Last time, we talked about handling irritation as a mom at home, but today we're going to switch gears a bit and talk about mealtime strategies, menu planning, and getting dinner on the table regularly with a splash of creativity. Let's dig in. So how about on practical things? You guys also have some mealtime tips and ideas for busy moms?
Yes. I love giving mealtime ideas.
She does. She gives me lots of ideas.
Although I gotta say, I'm like cooking less and less.
But that's also an idea.
Yeah, that's also an idea.
That's right.
I'm trying to get my kids to cook, but all of a sudden they turn teenagers and now they don't want to cook anymore. So I'm trying to figure out a balance.
That is always a struggle. My daughter loves to cook, except when she doesn't want to.
And then you're like,
welcome
hey,
to real life.
Right.
Well, I think that one of the biggest, blockages or walls that come up when we're cooking is like not knowing what to cook, right? Like not knowing, just being overwhelmed with the amount. What do I do? Where do I, what do I make? And so I remember feeling in this rut, being in this rut for a while and going, I don't know what to make anymore. Like I'm so out of ideas. And so then I started thinking, what if I made fish on Tuesdays and chicken on Wednesdays, and just kind of categorize my days. And I started doing that. And then that evolved into what about just category days? Because I don't like being in that rigid of a box, fish on Tuesdays. And so then I was like, okay, well, let's see, miscellaneous. Well, first it was meatless Mondays. Taco Tuesdays, wandering Wednesdays, thrifty Thursdays, and I had in my own mind what that meant.
Alliteration?
That's awesome.
Alliteration. I use alliteration because it helps me remember. And so that would be the first tip: is categorize your days, and then you can plan weekly menus based on that. Planning weekly menus is so important, like for your budget, for your peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes time to do that because you have to look, do I have any field trips? Do we have any, potlucks that we're going to? Are we going to a wedding? Well, we don't need to make a, meal that day. So it helps you save money and just plan ahead so things don't go bad in your fridge. And
For those who don't want to be so creative, there's also the spaghetti every Monday, and
right.
every Tuesday you have taco bowls, and every Wednesday you have, and I know my brother used to always do that. And so a way to make that fun is maybe on the weekends, you spice things up or go out to eat one meal and have some different things,
Right.
Or vice versa. Yeah. Do something fun all week. And then on the weekend you have the pizza and chicken wings. That's what my family kind of likes on the weekend, pizza and chicken wings. So that but the key is know what you're going to be making.
Yeah. Another tip is to plan your weekly menus around what you already have. You know, a lot of times you will forget that you had, you know, this one meal planned already, or that you ate out all of a sudden and you didn't realize you were going to, and now you have this bag of mushrooms, and what are you going to do with them? You know, so you don't want them to go bad. So planning your weekly menu based on what you already have, again, helps things not to spoil. And it kind of it helps too as a basis. You're like, what do I have? Oh, I can make this, I can make that. It helps spark some creativity. So that's a good one. And another one that I always use is to use your ingredients for more than one meal. So if you're going to like splurge on like a block of Parmigiano Reggiano, which is, you know, expensive, you don't just want to use it for like, you know, pasta and then it goes bad. You want to you know, make some Parmesan crusted fish, or, you know, Caesar salad, or whatever it is that you could use it for.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And then always have those staples available on hand. So I know I always have some chicken stock, or the better than bouillon. I like that because it lasts longer. Always have some tomato base, you know, either canned tomatoes or something. Always have your onions and garlic and your spices so that you can be creative. And
yeah, you always have the basics, like the foundation of every recipe.
Yeah.
And you can just go from there. And then last but not least, use your convenient appliances.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
I just love my Instant Pot so much. There was a learning curve. I wasn't sure. I researched the heck out of it before I bought it, but I tell you, that's probably what I use every single day of my life. And I love it. It's just, it makes everything really tasty. And I'm not kidding. Like, I'll make chili, or I'll make a soup or whatever, and people will be like, what did you put in here? I'm like, it's just the Instant Pot. Like it's like foolproof, you know, like if you put the right,
she is a really good cook though. So
I know, but if you season it well, the Instant Pot will do the heavy lifting. You know what I mean? It'll just, it's like, it's been simmering for 8 hours and it's only been simmering for 1, and it's so good.
I love my Instant Pot, but I still use my crock pot a good amount because it's bigger.
Right. You have a big family. That's the thing. Yeah.
But yes, I agree. It just makes things really fast, and you can plan ahead. So I can put things in my Instant Pot and know that that timer is going to go off and dinner will be ready at a certain time, because that can be so frustrating when maybe you didn't really plan ahead and now it's 6 o'clock at night and you have all these hungry kids.
Yeah.
And then the hungry kids, they ruin their appetites on
candy
junk.
I know. We were used to be really good at that. Whenever we had field trips or whatever, it was the best feeling. Would be like, oh, I'm going to plan ahead, put it in the morning, you know.
Yes.
And then we'd get home and dinner would be ready. It was amazing.
You're
you know?
Rocking the door and you can smell it.
Yeah, it smells and you're like, yes, I did it. So
you
yeah,
feel like a superhero when you walk in the door.
You really
smell
do.
that smell.
You really do. So yeah, your crock pot, your Instant Pot, your rice cooker, anything that's going to make your life easier. We always talk about cookie sheets, roasting vegetables in cookie sheets, doing one pot pasta. She does that a lot, and I've been doing that a lot lately too.
Yeah.
Doing, you know, just one pot meals, anything that's going to make your life easier.
I love an Instant Pot when I forget to defrost my meat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, which is like me always.
Pop it in. It's like, oh, the Instant Pot will take care of that.
Yes.
It's really great. It's really, really great. So that's it. That's what we got for you.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And, you know, I think an important thing to remember is that creativity is better with, you know, boundaries and limits. Like that's actually where, like how we use creativity is not when anything's possible, but when it's like, oh, well, this is what I have. And this is, you know, these are just the boundaries that are set up or the requirements, and having those limits is what sparks the creativity a lot of times.
I agree. I so agree. Yeah, that's why the category of days really helps, because then you're not just like, what do I make? You're like, well, it's Taco Tuesday, so make some kind of taco.
Easy.
Yes. Yes. And that kind of meat freeze as well too. I know one thing I like to do is take like ground beef and just do up a bunch. It's like, we're only gonna, I could cook only half. All we need is half. But if I do all of it, it doesn't take any more time. And then I have an emergency taco meat
Oh,
in the
nice.
freezer.
Well, and that's another really good point that I didn't mention, but I do this a lot too, is I'll use leftover food to make the next meal. So like I had this huge like pork butt and I was like, I'm going to make, carnitas for Taco Tuesday. And then the next day I'm going to turn it into pulled pork sandwiches, with coleslaw and all that stuff. And so when I see that I have a huge piece of meat that I know my family is not going to eat, in one day, then I'm like, well, that's just a really thrifty way of using up all your meat and then not, letting anything go to waste. And then sometimes too many leftovers, I'll go to waste too, because you're like, eat the leftovers and then they don't want to.
Oh, I know. It's so much better to
crazy.
turn it into another meal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really the only way I can get leftovers eaten. Sometimes it will be a soup I made. All the meat's been eaten out of it, and I have all this broth and vegetables left over. Oh, we're having a different soup.
Exactly. Well, that's why I created Thrifty Thursdays too, because Thrifty Thursdays, like, we're going to use what we have and eat the rest of whatever, we're going to eat, or we're just going to have breakfast for dinner or a sandwich. Something that's not a lot.
Yes.
So that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so helpful. And that's, we all need to be feeding our families multiple times a day. So sometimes it just like, we need those refresh ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we can do this. We can make it fun. We can, just be creative, but also use our resources wisely and also make it easy. And, at different seasons and different times, we kind of need to emphasize different strategies. Sometimes more easy, sometimes more creative.
Well, just in this conversation, I'm realizing that when I'm better at planning the menu and I'm cooking and I'm not frustrated because I have a plan and the food is in the crock pot, my kids are satisfied. But when I drop the ball and I'm feeding them hamburgers, I just put hamburgers into the oven. It's like the least tasty burger. Then they want to order pizza and they're like, oh, just stop at Rally's. Oh, just, oh, come on, Mom, let's order sushi, and they're less satisfied and therefore annoying.
Man, I tell you, at these teens and their cravings,
my kids want to order pizza all the time. And I'm like, I've never even ordered pizza. Who are you people?
I know. Yeah. So I think, based off of that too, like if you're trying to get your kids to cook more or to be a little bit more self-sufficient, I put a list in the fridge that says breakfast ideas of things that I know they know how to make, and then lunch ideas. Because sometimes they're like, I don't know what to make,
Oh no, they open the fridge and say, we don't have anything.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
But we do have this and this and
this. So if you always have like what's on the list for them, for breakfast and lunch, you always have that stuff available, then there's no excuse. And then you might have to change it up, because like my kids they're so sick of everything. They're like, no, we don't want any of that. We want something else. Like, we want instant ramen. That's their new thing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. What? Instant ramen? I'm trying to keep you alive for many years.
You're not away at college yet.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Teenagers.
Well, thank you guys. This has been so much fun. Thank you for your tips and the fun conversation.
You're
yes,
welcome.
It's been awesome, Misty. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And we do want to tell everybody we do have a couple of videos on this meal planning. We have one on like feeding picky eaters, and also for the frustrations, we have a cycle tracker that you can download on our website, chipsandsalsahomeschooling.com/cycle tracker.
I will put those links in the description and the menu planning video at the end of the video.
Awesome. Yeah. And
Yay.
follow us on social media because we give tips all the time. And I get on there sometimes and we'll cook a whole recipe
Oh,
in
fun.
front of you and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Misty.
Bye.
We all need a refresh sometimes when it comes to menu planning tips and ideas. And DeeDee and Ximena had some great ones today. Be sure to follow their YouTube channel and Instagram account at Chips and Salsa Homeschooling, or find them on their Bookshark podcast, Homeschool Your Way. In the description below, I have linked some of their videos about meal planning, as well as my free master pantry shopping list. The master pantry list will help you be sure that you have all those foundational meal building blocks in your pantry so that you don't run out of something essential to getting dinner on the table. Plus, I have a video about menu planning 6 weeks at a time, which helps reduce that time spent menu planning and reduces decision fatigue. You can find those resources in the description below. And while you cook dinner, clean house, or do anything else, remember to repent, rejoice, repeat.